Breaking news! Things aren't looking good behind the scenes at the Miami Dolphins, and this may be affecting the players' mindset. I hope this doesn't affect the last games of the season. Although it's almost impossible, mathematically, it's still possible to make the playoffs. Many fans are skeptical, and have even said they'll root for another team in 2025. Man, seriously, if this board doesn't revamp the entire Miami Dolphins roster, it's going to get tough. I'm already very discouraged by all of this. Ross needs to fire Chris Greer. I don't know if McDaniel is the ideal HC to continue leading the Dolphins' work. It's complicated. If you're also discouraged by everything that's happening, hit the like button. If possible, comment like this: the Miami Dolphins need changes. The Dolphins have made waves with a number of notable roster moves, and the implications are significant as the team prepares for critical late-season games. Among the most notable updates is the placement of wide receiver Grant Dubose on injured reserve following a harrowing incident during Sunday's game against the Houston Texans. After a frightening hit that knocked him unconscious and required a stretcher to be removed, Dubose's season is officially over. Fortunately, the wideout is reportedly stable and will return to Miami later this week, a silver lining in what could have been a much bleaker situation. This development puts the Dolphins' already thin wide receiver depth chart under the spotlight, with Jalen Waddle listed as day-to-day due to a knee issue and another wide receiver, DSD, also battling injuries. The team is left with just a handful of healthy wideouts, including Tyreek Hill, River Crocraft, and Malik Washington. Given this situation, the question of whether Miami will add any reinforcements to its roster becomes crucial. That could mean elevating a player like Isaiah McKenzie from the practice squad or seeking an outside signing to shore up the position down the stretch. Speaking of Isaiah McKenzie, his addition to the practice squad is another intriguing storyline. Known for his versatility as a slot receiver and his effectiveness on special teams, McKenzie brings NFL experience, primarily from his time with the Buffalo Bills. With his track record, he's a potential candidate to step into an active roster role and provide much-needed depth and reliability in the coming weeks. Meanwhile, another major move saw the signing of Jake McQuaid, a two-time Pro Bowl long snapper, to the active roster. This likely signals the end of Blake Ferguson's season, who, despite being designated to return from injured reserve earlier, has been confirmed by head coach Mike McDaniel to remain sidelined for the remainder of the season. Ferguson's journey this year has been tumultuous, marked by a stint on IR for personal reasons and subsequent uncertainty about his return. While the team navigates these adjustments, it's worth noting Ferguson's commendable contributions off the field in Miami, highlighting the human aspect of the sport. The discussion doesn't stop there, as attention shifts to Bradley Chubb, a key defensive player whose status remains uncertain. The possibility of shutting him down for the season hinges on the Dolphins' playoff chances. McDaniel's comments on the matter were measured, emphasizing the balance between responsibility and allowing players the opportunity to compete. For Chubb, getting back on the field might not only benefit the team but also provide clarity about his role and potential future with the Dolphins. With a significant cap hit looming in 2025, evaluating his contributions becomes critical for Miami's offseason strategy. As the Dolphins navigate these challenges, their resilience will be tested. Each decision, from addressing the depleted wide receiver core to managing key players' returns, carries weight as the team aims to finish the season strong. Fans, what are your thoughts on these developments? Do you think the Dolphins should add a wide receiver to the active roster, or are they well equipped to adapt with the current lineup? Share your insights below. The adjustments in Miami's roster don't end with the high-profile moves already mentioned. Another notable development involves quarterback Skylar Thompson, who was waived by the Dolphins but has since found his way back onto the practice squad. Thompson's journey with the team has been a roller coaster, and his return to the practice unit showcases Miami's ongoing efforts to maintain depth and flexibility in key positions. Whether Thompson will have a meaningful role as the season winds down is uncertain, but his familiarity with the system could prove valuable in case of unexpected circumstances. The inclusion of Isaiah McKenzie, a seasoned NFL receiver with significant special teams expertise, adds another layer of intrigue. McKenzie's 1,400 career receiving yards and 5 touchdowns, primarily accumulated during his tenure with the Buffalo Bills, make him a solid candidate to step into an active role. Given the current injury challenges in the wide receiver group, McKenzie may find himself playing a pivotal role in the Dolphins' final games. His ability to contribute both as a slot receiver and return specialist brings versatility that could ease some of the pressure on the team. On the defensive side of the ball, Bradley Chubb's situation remains under scrutiny. The edge rusher, who has been managing his return through the 21-day practice window, represents a dilemma for Miami. Should they activate him and allow him to showcase his abilities, or take a more cautious approach to avoid risking further injury? Head coach Mike McDaniel has been noncommittal, emphasizing the need for responsibility while also recognizing Chubb's desire to be on the field. This uncertainty ties directly to the Dolphins' broader strategic goals, as evaluating Chubb's form in these final games could influence potential trade decisions or cap space management during the offseason. Adding to the complexity is the Dolphins' precarious position in the playoff race. With their postseason hopes hanging by a thread, every roster decision carries heightened stakes. The upcoming match against the San Francisco 49ers is a critical test. Facing one of the league's most complete teams, Miami's ability to adapt and perform under adversity will be crucial. The potential activation of players like McKenzie and even the possibility of Bradley Chubb taking the field could significantly impact the outcome. Looking beyond the roster, the Dolphins' organizational resilience deserves recognition. Players like Blake Ferguson, who have faced personal challenges this season, remind us of the human element behind the sport. While his absence leaves a gap in the long snapper role, Miami's proactive signing of Jake McQuaide ensures continuity in this vital position. McQuade's experience and accolades as a two-time Pro Bowler bring stability to the special teams unit. As fans, these moments offer a glimpse into the intricacies of managing a professional football team. Each decision, from practice squad additions to active roster signings, reflects a calculated effort to balance immediate needs with long-term goals. The Dolphins front office, led by Chris Greer, faces no shortage of tough calls as they navigate these waters. What's your take on Miami's flurry of moves? Are you optimistic about the team's ability to overcome these challenges and end the season on a high note? And how do you feel about the potential contributions of new additions like Isaiah McKenzie and Jake McQuaide? Let us know in the comments below. The Miami Dolphins have been actively adjusting their roster in response to recent challenges, aiming to strengthen their lineup for the crucial end-of-season games. A significant development is the placement of wide receiver Grant Dubose on injured reserve following a severe helmet-to-helmet collision during Sunday's game against the Houston Texans. Dubose was hospitalized in Houston but has movement in all extremities, which is encouraging news for his recovery. In light of Dubose's injury and the subsequent gap in the wide receiver position, the Dolphins have signed Isaiah McKenzie to the practice squad. McKenzie, a versatile receiver with 7 NFL seasons under his belt, brings experience and depth to the team. His ability to contribute both as a slot receiver and on special teams could be invaluable as the Dolphins navigate the remainder of the season. Additionally, the Dolphins have addressed the quarterback position by re-signing Skylar Thompson to the practice squad. Thompson, who previously spent 3 seasons with Miami, provides familiarity with the team's offensive system and offers depth behind the starting quarterbacks. On the special teams front, the Dolphins have bolstered their lineup by signing long snapper Jake McQuaide to the active roster from the practice squad. McQuaide, a veteran with 194 games and 2 Pro Bowl selections, brings a wealth of experience to the special teams unit, ensuring stability in the snapping game. Dolphins fans, what are your thoughts on these recent roster moves? Do you believe the additions of Isaiah McKenzie and Jake McQuaide will provide the necessary boost for the team's final push this season? Share your opinions and insights in the comments below.